Doesn't have so much of an angry face, but he's got like a bring it on face and a oh really face, which is great if you want him to do some stand up. Alright, so today we're going to take a quick look at the Eternal sets just released. Movie's not even out yet, but these are all pretty keen. The Deviants you see there, the 5 dark blue, dark red builds with little bits of gold and the translucent opalescent coloring action going on there. Yeah, so we're going to take a look at all this stuff. Maybe this will be something you want to add to your collection. Maybe you just want to get some of these things for parts. But once you get them all together, they look like, just kind of one set. The first thing we're going to take a look at is the build of the Domo itself. This flying piece of pie. It's a pretty awesome triangle. It takes probably more undercarriage than anything else, but yeah, see that there's a whole lot of tube side going on there, and it's not totally unattractive. But how often are you going to look at the bottom side of this anyway? Not too often. But it does open up. Quite a few areas here, and I have most of the figures loaded in. We're only missing Gilgamesh on the inside, just because that was the last set I put together, and dude's got big hands, so I'm kind of leaving him out for a minute. But yeah, let's take a look. We got, I think I doubled up figures in the cockpit, yeah. Yeah, so we got 2 in there. One of the Ikaris figures, there's actually, if you get every set, you're going to have 3 of that dude. We open up on the side here. A little air skiff. And we got Brian Tyree Henry there in the center. The center portion opens up. And you see we got Ajax and Sprite, and Makkari, and Cersei? Yeah. And Fastos, I believe, is the Brian Tyree Henry character there. Moving over here, we got Thena and Kingo. So Angelina Jolie and Kumail Nanjiani, respectively there. Now, and then Droog, I think, is the dude I also have in the cockpit. But you can see it's kind of roomy inside. I'd like to have more figures set to the center, but once you fold it down, this pearl gold action here in the center does end up, as you can see there, taking up a lot of space. So you gotta just be a little bit imaginative with it. But love how it folds up. And because it has all these panels that fold in and fold up, swooshability is kind of tough. So you'd have to really grab it at a funny angle, because if you put your thumb here, this is always going to want to fly up on you. So you got to kind of work over here and just remember that if you grab it somewhere else, things are weird. But this being a triangle like it is, you could probably grab it from multiple places and call it good. But as long as you have it like in the center of the side of the triangle, that bit is going to want to fly back. So you kind of have to grab it by the corners. But other than that, I mean, pretty sweet. It's got a few stickers. Got some more of the opalescent blue bits on the outside. We have these dishes that you can see. They're also in the Celestial there, as well as the 1x4s here as well. Use it again. Yeah, pretty good construction on this. This was pretty fun. And this did come with a couple deviants, who we'll be taking a look at in a minute. And now we're taking a look at our Celestial Arsheim, which is pretty thinly constructed, but I do love the articulation you can get out of it. The head is pretty fantastic. Underneath these rounded 1x2s, there are little coral pistols acting as bars in there. Mostly constructed for dark red, but it's got some black, some dark gray, some magenta working underneath there, as well as some dark pink translucent. Spinning around the back here, you can see it's got that light function. but the color's pretty consistent all the way around, so it doesn't look too horrible from the back. These large shoulder construction bits can look a little bit weird and out of place, but I mean they flex and they move with the model, so they always look like they're pretty decent. All right, so the light from the back, boom, right there in the center. If you press hard enough on this, that light will pop out because it is just held in by a single clip there on a bar. And I don't know if that was on purpose, if that's how you defeat this thing or what, but just something to take note of. But scanning back down to the legs here, scanning and panning. We have those opalescent, translucent blue pieces again. And what's really great about this one is that you have these large Technic constructions for the feet that help it maintain balance pretty much any way it goes. So you can shake this bad boy around, have him do some dancing, be pretty good. Yeah. As you can see, Galactus is just like face palming this dude. Now we're going to take a look at the Deviants. Okay, so this one was the one that comes in that $30 set with the 3 figures. So it comes with Gilgamesh, Thena, with a translucent orange blade, but it's kind of like an opaque translucent orange. And you have Makkari here again, also with like little power blast bits. Construction on this one is a little bit strange, but good strange. You see the double back legs there, but the bend and the angle on those make it look really great. And from the right angle, the pearl gold pieces with the dark blue wedges on top kind of look like hooves. Because the shoulder bits there are mixel joint construction, it doesn't always hold the pose really well, especially when you're scooting it around. But the head is articulated. We'll go from side to side, and I'm trying to do this operation single-handed here, so it's going to shift on me. But I don't know if these side bits are horns or ears, but pretty keen. And all these deviants seem to have a double eye. So that's something we'll be taking a look at here in each of these. Also, again, I'll mention these little wavy bits, which are fantastic, and they could be used for smoke and other things, and, you know, just 1,000 different uses. Or more. Alright, so we're going to look at this deviant. This is the one that came in the $10 set, this is actually a fantastic construction for a $10 set. On its own, not to mention the fact that it came with Ikaris and Sprite. So it's definitely the most value-friendly of all the Eternal sets available right now. Plus, look at you get what was that, 6? Plus, you get an extra one of these with each of the sets. So something really cool to have on hand. Plus, this one has one as a tail bit as well, so you're going to have an even number of these when all is said and done. So 12, 13, 14 of them all together, which is pretty awesome. Price per piece, this is just a great deal. I highly recommend you get it. I'm going to be flashing the set number right there in the corner. But yes, absolutely, pick this up. And as you can see there, again, the double eye action. So yeah, pretty keen, pretty keen. Now this one is probably my favorite of the Deviants, just for the way the legs are constructed. Pretty unorthodox. You can see like some things have held over from, like, say, Ninjago Dragon builds. The way it's just kind of a Technic construction there off of an axle brick. Yeah, and then, you know, the mixel's down there, but at the hips and the shoulders you have that stronger, larger ball joint, which holds a lot more friction. So this thing can hold a pose better than some of the previous ones we've seen here. Plus you get a pretty decent amount of dark turquoise in here as well, which, I mean, that's always a good thing, right? Plus you got these pearl gold bar clip bits there, which are pretty phenomenal and universally awesome. But again, like I said, I don't know if I'm going to be breaking these Deviants down anytime soon, because they're just so much cooler than I anticipated. Let's see if we can focus on the double eye. Yeah, we have the double eye there again. The only thing that these are lacking on is mouth construction. But, you know, like I say, I haven't seen the movie yet, so that could be just how they look. Okay, so this fella is the only humanoid one of the bunch. Say fella, it could be fillet. Um, it's got one hand larger than the other, kind of like symbiote-esque with the fingers. It's got tendrils going on there. Again, you got the same color scheme as before. A pretty finished back, which is kind of amazing. You don't really see that too much. And that's because those are the inverted slopes there, and they attach pretty fantastically. Now the head is a single piece on this one. I'll bring it in closer so you can see it. I'll focus so you can actually see it. There. Again, the double eyes, but you have a mouth and definitely human-esque features. Big thick neck on this thing. This is a little bird creature. Came in this set here. It was one of the first things I actually put together from the Eternals sets. So let me zoom in on it. There we go. So you can see that was my first time putting those wispy blade bits on a build in that translucent color, and I was just kind of blown away by this. And immediately this, like all the stigma that I built up in my mind over these Deviant builds had kind of just washed away, and then I, just was a big fan. All of the characters do have dual printed heads, so you got the serious face and you got the happy fun time go lucky face. Yeah. So Kirby-esque down to the wardrobe design. The flaming fists that you see there that tack on are dual molded actually. So it's gold and then that darker translucent opaque orange. But it's a little bit of a fail because you can't even really tell that that's what it is. I mean, it looks a little weird, a little different, but you really don't give it too much of a second thought.